Hello, Buffalo Bills fans. Our team is ignited with thrilling updates that have paved the way for collective excitement. Some fans express reservations, finding it challenging to absorb the unfolding narrative. Hit subscribe to cast your vote of support for the Buffalo Bills, and join us in unraveling the nuanced layers of this groundbreaking news. Last week, the Buffalo Bills completed the formation of their initial practice squad for the 2024 season, incorporating 3 players from outside the organization to complete the 17-man unit. Defensive end Kingsley Jonathan qualifies as an international player, allowing the Bills to retain him in an exempt spot. Although he is not part of the active roster, Buffalo, under its current management, has historically used its practice squad as a talent incubator, a place to store players not only for long-term goals but also those they are confident can be called upon if needed. With this in mind, there are several players on the Bills' current practice squad who could easily see action with the team this fall. We have selected 5 that we believe best fit this criterion. QB Mike White. Buffalo acted swiftly to recruit veteran quarterback Mike White to its practice squad, hosting him for a visit just hours after finalizing its 53-man roster. At 29 years old, he is a reliable, albeit unremarkable, quarterback with a reasonable amount of professional experience, having passed for 2,219 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions in 14 NFL games. He is not likely to be mistaken for Josh Allen anytime soon, but a team could certainly do worse for a third-string quarterback. He perhaps has the most immediate path to a role among the Bills' practice squad players, as current backup Mitchell Trubisky is sidelined with a knee injury sustained during the preseason. Buffalo general manager Brandon Beane recently mentioned that the backup's availability for Week 1 is truly unknown, which might open the door for White to serve as Allen's primary backup early in the season. Trubisky also appeared generally underwhelming throughout the preseason, excessively focusing on targets and throwing a particularly poor interception against the Pittsburgh Steelers. While Trubisky's contract would be difficult for the Bills to move on from, White may prove to be a more advantageous backup option than the former second overall pick. RB Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr. quickly became a fan favorite in Western New York after a standout preseason, during which he rushed for 163 yards on 33 carries, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. He showed flashes of his father's skills by gaining 102 yards after contact, according to PFF, meaning that nearly 63% of his rushing production came after contact. That's quite impressive. The undrafted free agent's path to a roster spot in Buffalo was always challenging given the crowded backfield, with Pro Bowler James Cook, 4th-round pick Ray Davis, veteran Ty Johnson, and fullback Reggie Gilliam all expected to be on the 53-man roster. The team was fortunate to see the 22-year-old clear waivers and re-sign with its practice squad, making Gore Jr. a prime candidate for a call-up if an injury occurs, or if the team needs an additional spark off the bench. WR Jalen Virgil. If you need proof of Jalen Virgil's potential impact on Buffalo's active roster this season, look no further than the player himself. Denver Gazette writer Chris Tomasson reported that the 26-year-old chose to sign with the Bills' practice squad over the Broncos because he believed there was a better chance to make the 53-man roster. This is a reasonable assessment from the third-year receiver out of Appalachian State, as the Bills kept only 5 receivers on their initial roster. Virgil possesses a potentially dynamic skill set, as demonstrated by his 98 receptions for 1,436 yards and 11 touchdowns at Boone. He was also an exciting special teams returner for the Mountaineers, returning 37 kicks for 1,142 yards and 3 touchdowns. Although he had limited opportunities in Denver, appearing in just 2 games, he made the most of his chances. His first NFL reception was a 66-yard touchdown in 2022. Buffalo has some speed in its active receiving core with Curtis Samuel and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, but Virgil could add additional energy in this area throughout the year. It would also not be surprising to see the team try him as a special teams returner given his collegiate success in that role. CB Daquan Hardy. Speaking of special teams ability, it wouldn't be surprising to see the Bills eventually use rookie cornerback Daquan Hardy as their returner at some point during the 2024 season. Buffalo selected the Penn State defender in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft to serve as their returner, giving him every opportunity to win the job throughout training camp and the preseason. Although he improved in the role as the summer progressed, Bean mentioned that the team simply ran out of time in his development as a returner and needed a more reliable presence, leading them to sign Virgil and trade for undrafted return specialist Brandon Codrington from the New York Jets. Bean reiterated that the team still has faith in Hardy and may look to promote him this year. It wouldn't be surprising to see the team turn back to Hardy as their returner if other experiments fail. The rookie also showed promise as a defender throughout the preseason, recording 3 pass breakups as a boundary cornerback. With only 4 traditional outside cornerbacks on the roster, Hardy is the next man up should any injuries occur. S. Lewis Cine. Although it might be premature to label him a fan favorite, Buffalo fans developed a fondness for safety Lewis Cine after he rejected the Jets to sign with the Bills' practice squad last week. He is one of the more intriguing practice squad additions in the league. A first-round pick of the Vikings in 2022, Minnesota cut the 24-year-old last week after he recorded just 1 tackle in 10 appearances over 2 seasons. He gets a fresh start with a familiar face at one Bills drive, as former Georgia defensive backs coach Jamali Addy is currently on Buffalo's defensive coaching staff. Cine joins forces with a head coach who has consistently maximized the potential of safeties and defensive backs in general. For evidence of this, look no further than Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer becoming premier players in Buffalo, or Kurt Coleman's 2015 season with the Carolina Panthers. For an athletic defensive back looking to revitalize his career, there may be no better coach to play for than Sean McDermott. Buffalo's current safety situation makes Cine's immediate prospects as intriguing as they are. The team entered its 2024 training camp with a 3-way competition to determine the starter alongside Taylor Rapp, with initial reps expected to be shared among Damar Hamlin, Mike Edwards, and rookie Cole Bishop. All 3 of these players missed varying amounts of time due to injuries, preventing the safety tandem and overall defense from building chemistry. Who will start in the defensive backfield opposite Rapp in Week 1 remains to be seen, and while it won't be Cine, it wouldn't be surprising to see the team integrate the third-year safety into the defense as the season progresses if he quickly grasps the scheme. His addition to the practice squad was likely viewed internally as a developmental move, but he is demonstrably talented, just 3 years removed from earning All-SEC honors. This could enable him to see the field this season.